Tensions have flared between Bangladesh and Myanmar over a military crackdown against Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar's Rakhine state. The crackdown has sent hundreds of Rohingyas fleeing into Bangladesh for refuge. Myanmar doesn't recognise them as citizens. And Bangladesh has called in Myanmar's ambassador to protest at a security operation that has forced thousands to flee their homes. Anne Barker reports.
Since last weekend, hundreds of Rohingya Muslims have poured across the border from Myanmar to Bangladesh, fleeing violence that has escalated since October. Myanmar sent the army into western Rakhine state after 9 police officers were killed on October the 9th in attacks blamed on militants. Since then, up to 100 people have been killed and thousands displaced. Many of those fleeing say they were forced out after soldiers set their homes on fire. They swooped into our houses and set them on fire, says this man, tortured the women, killed one of my nephews by slitting his throat. Human Rights Watch on Monday released satellite images it says show more than 1,200 homes have been destroyed in Rohingya villages since the violence began. Aid agencies say at least 500 people have arrived in refugee camps inside the Bangladeshi border. Some are believed to have drowned along the way. There were a group of people from our village who crossed the river by boat to come here, said one man, but suddenly the boat sank in the river. 7 people are missing, including my 3 children. Bangladesh has now stepped up border controls and sent Coast Guard ships to stop people coming in by boat along the Naf River. It's even sent many Rohingya Muslims back to Myanmar and demanded the government in Yangon do more to control its side of the border. It's also summoned Myanmar's ambassador to protest at the military operation that has forced so many people to flee. But John McKissick from the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees says the Bangladeshi government can do more.
So it's up to the government of Bangladesh to put pressure on the government of Myanmar to return the situation to normal so that these Rohingyas who have arrived recently can go back. But for now, the only thing that can be done is to assist them and to protect them.
This is the worst violence in Myanmar since 2012, when hundreds of Rohingya Muslims were killed in clashes with Buddhist extremists. Myanmar denies its soldiers have burned down villages or killed those trying to return. It says it's only targeting militant groups who caused the violence in the first place, though some reports say the initial attacks were a response to reports that Myanmar planned to crack down on Rohingyas, who many Buddhists consider to be illegal immigrants. Malaysia too has now protested against Myanmar's crackdown. It's threatening to pull out of a soccer tournament the 2 countries are co-hosting. Malaysia's Sports Minister Khairy Jamaluddin has described Myanmar's actions as possible genocide. I'll seek the opinion of the Cabinet and they'll decide whether or not to continue, he says, after which I'll advise the team coordinator. But whatever they decide, we must continue to speak up. The latest violence in Rakhine State poses the toughest challenge yet for Aung San Suu Kyi's 8-month-old government. Human rights groups had hoped the democracy leader would take steps to end the country's discriminatory policies against Rohingyas, but so far her government has done little to change the policies of the hardline government it replaced.
Anne Barker reporting.